Welcome back to our journey home. This is a series where I document the journey since we were forced to evacuate our home in the January 2023 storms. Those storms created a landslide underneath our home, which means it's clinging to the side of a slope and clearly unsafe to live in. So as I said, that was January 2023. We are now in May 2024. We are 16 months on. And if you watched our 1 year thank you video, or if you've been to our home, you'll notice that we're still in the same place, which is not our house. So we've made very little progress over this period of time. So what's happening? Well, our insurance company is still only covering 1/3 of the cost to build the home, and we're still fighting that. So we've brought on a second law firm to do some further work, but what it really means in real world terms is there's a $200,000 gap between what we've been given and what we need to repair our home. We're also still waiting on a resolution from Auckland Council's Storm Recovery Office. They put a program in place to support people like us or in similar situations. And in really basic terms, they'll categorize your house in one of three categories. Number three is it's not repairable and they'll buy you out. Number two is that there's a big gap between the payout and what you need to repair, and that if that happens again, it poses some risk to life. And then category one is you get nothing. We started the process with them in June last year. So we're almost 12 months into this categorization process with them. They gave us an initial decision in December, actually, just a few days before Christmas. And they said that we were category one. And that, obviously that's not really helpful for us, particularly because they didn't say why. So we asked them why. Why are we a category one rather than a category two? And there was crowd silence, absolutely nothing. They couldn't tell us or provide any evidence as to why we were category one or how they'd made their decision. So after kicking and screaming, they suggested that we challenge the decision, which we have now done. And they've gone through a much more rigorous process of sending engineers out to our home and having a look at the space. And that's all well and good. But it does come back to the initial point. It's really hard to challenge a decision when you don't know how that decision has been made. So the process has been a bit iffy. We're hoping that we get a good result, which would see us get a category 2P, which would help us cover this massive gap in what our insurance is not covering. So that's where we are with council. In the meantime, we've been working with our bank to try and borrow the money for that gap so that we can start building it. And shout out to NZHL, the guys have been awesome. And thanks to them, we have a conditional approval. So we're going through the process of meeting all of those conditions. Unfortunately, one of those conditions relies on council, and that is getting a building consent. We've gone through the process of the building consent. We thought we were at the end of it. And now council have told us we need resource consent, which just seems absolutely mindless because we aren't doing anything new. We're just trying to repair our home, and it seems like a box ticking exercise that's just going to cost us more time and more money, and we're kind of short of both. So that's kind of where we are with council. We are hoping that we don't get to 12 months through the categorization process and still not get a result. That would be a real kick in the teeth. We're confident that we will get a building consent and a resource consent and be able to start the rebuild, which would be great. Now, on a slight tangent, Dylan has decided he also wants to get in on the insurance action as he ruptured a cruciate ligament in his knee. And that required surgery. And surprise, surprise, the insurance payout wasn't even enough to cover half of the cost of the x-rays, let alone the surgery. So we're feeling a little bit bitten by the whole insurance game at the moment. Feels like a bit of a rort. More importantly though, he's 5 weeks post-surgery and he's doing extremely well. He has a full personal training regime. He even has his own dog wobble board, which I didn't know was even a thing. So he's getting the full VIP treatment, and we're really looking after him. And as you can see, he's doing pretty well there. Not to be outdone by Dylan, Sarah fractured her ankle while doing a trail run, which has turned her foot into a basketball, that like a big purple basketball, and so she's been struggling as well. It doesn't require surgery, but when it rains, it pours, right? Um, Back to the house side of things. While we're working through the minute detail and trying to get our house repaired, on a large scale, there's just something fundamentally wrong with what's going on here. Uh, I won't go into it in this video, but I will look to do a bit of a deeper dive at a later time, because how do we end up $200,000 short, and how do other people end up in a situation like ours as well? We didn't get the cheapest insurance. We searched around to get something comprehensive. We paid our premiums on time, year on year, and we did what anyone would consider as everything reasonable to cover ourselves, yet we still find ourselves in the shit through no fault of our own. And like, I know life's not fair, but there's something wrong if we're okay with a system like this. You know, Sarah and I have the means to bounce back from this, albeit, you know, it's going financially, it has a large impact. We can still bounce back. But we've connected with so many people through this journey who don't have the ability to do that. They're older, or they're single parents, or their business was based out of their home, and this has financially destroyed them. And it just doesn't feel right. So I guess more to come on that. To finish on a positive note though, we feel like we are making small amounts of progress, and we are only one resource consent away from being able to start repairing the home. So fingers crossed that starts to happen soon. So thanks for watching this update on our journey home, and I will catch you in the next one.